Have you ever noticed how two people can earn the same amount of money, yet one slowly builds a life of stability while the other constantly feels like they're drowning? One sleeps peacefully at night, the other lies awake wondering where all the money went. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. The difference is not always income. Sometimes it's behavior, it's habits, it's decisions, and most importantly, it's budgeting. Welcome back, my friends. My name is Grandpa T. Pull up a chair, pour yourself a warm drink, and sit with me for a little while. Today I want to talk about one of the most misunderstood ideas in personal finance, because somewhere along the way, people started believing that budgeting is the path to becoming rich. It isn't. Budgeting alone won't make you rich, but it will keep you from being broke. And before you dismiss that statement as too simple, understand this. A ship doesn't reach its destination because it moves fast. It reaches its destination because it stops itself from sinking. Most people spend their entire lives trying to move faster while ignoring the holes in the bottom of their boat. Today, we're going to talk about those holes, and more importantly, how to stop them from sinking your future. We live in a world that constantly whispers the same lie. Fake it till you make it. Looking rich is better than being actually rich. Drive the expensive car. Wear the expensive watch. Buy the newest phone. Take the vacation you can't afford. Fill your social media with evidence of a lifestyle that's secretly financed by stress. And over time, people begin confusing luxury with comfort. But luxury and comfort are not the same thing. A person driving a luxury car while struggling to make payments is not comfortable. A person living in a giant house they can barely afford is not comfortable. A person carrying mountains of debt while posting smiling photos online is not comfortable. Comfort isn't about appearance. Comfort is sleeping peacefully. Comfort is knowing one emergency won't destroy your life. Comfort is having choices. Comfort is freedom. And freedom doesn't come from spending more. Freedom comes from needing less. Think about that, because most people spend their lives chasing symbols instead of substance. They buy the image of success while sacrificing the reality of it. And that's why so many people earn more than ever before, yet feel poorer than ever before. The problem isn't always income. The problem is direction. Let me share a metaphor with you. Imagine your income is water flowing into a bucket. Most people believe the solution to financial problems is simple. Get more water. Get a raise. Start another side hustle. Find a better job. Earn more money. And earning more money can absolutely help. But here's what many people don't realize. If your bucket has holes in it, more water won't solve the problem. It simply leaks out faster. That's exactly what happens to many people. Their income grows, their lifestyle grows, their spending grows, their expectations grow, yet somehow their financial stress remains exactly the same. Why? Because the holes were never fixed. Budgeting isn't about becoming rich. Budgeting is about finding the holes. It's about understanding where your money is going. It's about taking control instead of living on autopilot. Because money that isn't directed eventually disappears. Here's a difficult truth. If you can't manage $1,000 wisely, $10,000 won't change that. If you can't manage $10,000 wisely, $100,000 won't change that either. Because wealth isn't built by income alone, it's built by behavior. The habits that create financial stability at a low income are often the same habits that create wealth at a high income. People love imagining what they'll do when they make more money. They say things like, when I get a better job, when I get promoted, when my business takes off, when I finally earn more. But very few people ask themselves this question: what habits am I building right now? Because the future version of you is being created today. Not tomorrow, not next year, today. The person who spends every dollar they earn today will likely spend every dollar they earn tomorrow. The person who avoids planning today will likely avoid planning tomorrow. Money amplifies habits. It doesn't automatically improve them. Here's something I've observed throughout life. People often think money problems are money problems, but many times they're decision problems, habit problems, identity problems. Think about it. If someone constantly buys things to impress strangers, more income won't fix that. If someone constantly seeks emotional comfort through spending, more income won't fix that. If someone avoids responsibility whenever finances become uncomfortable, more income won't fix that. Money reveals character. It magnifies behavior, and that's why budgeting matters so much. Because budgeting forces awareness. It forces honesty. It forces you to look directly at your choices instead of hiding from them. And awareness is where transformation begins. But for now, my friend, if you're finding value in this conversation, take a moment to help this wisdom reach more people. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below answering this question. What is one spending habit you've realized is holding you back? Not because I want to judge you, but because awareness is the first step toward change. And your honesty might help someone else recognize something in their own life. Now let's continue. You need better decisions more than you need money. This statement makes people uncomfortable because it's easier to believe our problems exist outside of us. It's harder to acknowledge the role our choices play. Now, don't misunderstand me. There are absolutely people facing real financial hardship. There are situations where income genuinely is the problem. But even then, better decisions matter because income creates opportunity. But decisions determine what happens to that opportunity. Imagine giving two people identical seeds. One carefully plants them, waters them, protects them, nurtures them. The other leaves them scattered on the ground. Months later, one has a garden. The other has excuses. The seeds were the same. The difference was stewardship. Money works much the same way. One of the most dangerous financial traps is something called lifestyle inflation. Your income rises, and immediately your expenses rise with it. You make more, you spend more, you upgrade everything, and somehow your financial life remains unchanged. The destination keeps moving further away. It's like climbing a mountain where the peak rises every time you get closer. You never arrive. You never feel secure. You never feel satisfied. Because satisfaction was never the goal. Consumption became the goal. And consumption has no finish line. There is always a bigger house, a newer car, a more expensive vacation, a newer gadget, someone richer, someone flashier, someone seemingly living better than you. If your happiness depends on keeping up with others, you'll spend your entire life running, and you'll never reach the finish line. Let's redefine wealth for a moment. Being rich isn't just about having money. Being rich is having options, having time, having peace, having freedom. Being rich is waking up without constant financial anxiety. And most of all, being rich is not being owned by your own possessions. Many people possess expensive things, Few people possess peace. And if you ask me, peace is the greater treasure. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper. Would you start with the top floor? Of course not. You start with the foundation, and budgeting is a financial foundation. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous. Nobody posts social media photos celebrating their monthly budget. But foundations aren't meant to be impressive. They're meant to be strong. And strength matters far more than appearances, because when storms arrive, and they always do, the strength of your foundation determines whether you survive. So remember this, budgeting won't make you rich, not by itself, but it will keep you from being broke. It teaches awareness. It develops discipline. It reveals where your money is going. It helps align your actions with your goals. Most importantly, it teaches one of life's greatest lessons. You cannot build abundance on top of chaos. Before wealth comes stewardship. Before growth comes discipline. Before success comes responsibility. The first step toward becoming wealthy isn't learning how to make millions. It's learning how to manage what you already have. Because if you cannot guide a small ship through calm waters, a larger ship won't save you in a storm. And maybe that's the wisdom we all need to remember. You don't need a miracle. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need to become someone else. You simply need to make better decisions today than you made yesterday. One choice, one habit, one budget, one step at a time. And eventually, those small decisions become a life that feels different, a life that feels stable, a life that feels free. And that, my friend, is where true wealth begins. Again, this is Grandpa T, and I'll see you in the next conversation.